In this video, I'm just going to go over some basic farming techniques. I know a lot of people have trouble collecting blood, and I know a lot of people also like to use the sniper armored truck method. Again, I highly recommend you do not use that method. I mean, it works when you first start the game out, but if you want to get anywhere in life, you're going to need, vampire bats. So, a couple hints here. For those of you who don't know, when you have troops parked in a wild, they are no longer consuming blood from your city. Now, if you look here, you can see that I'm consuming 5.6 million blood an hour, which obviously is draining the blood I have in this city. So to reduce my upkeep while I farm for blood, I simply park, the non-critical troops in a nearby wild. Now, if you're one of the mega power players, obviously this isn't going to work for you because you have too many troops that you can't hide enough. So if you're a mega power player, I'll go over that in a different video on how to, get blood and train troops. This is for the smaller guys who have a manageable upkeep. So obviously, I still have 100,000 vampire bats and 100,000 nemesis bats. I'm consuming just under 5 million blood an hour. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, just hitting like a handful of RBCs, how much blood that you can get. And, when people say, I need blood, I need 3 million, I can't get it, really, I just think that you're lazy, to be honest. I mean, even if you just have 60,000 vampires, or, heck, you have 30,000, that's enough to get a couple million blood pretty easy, because 30,000, vampire bats, you can farm level 7s and down with no losses very rapidly. And if you look here at this level 7, RBC, I'm just going to type in a troop number. It takes 50 seconds one way, and that's what this research on this account is maxed out that well. So, for a small player, that's about what it's going to be. If you're built up and your endurance and whatever is higher, it's going to be a shorter distance travel. So anyways, I'm going to show you how, in just a minute or, a couple minutes, you can get millions in blood. So if you want to know what to send to RBCs, simply go to vampin.net, go to the guides, and hit the red blood camps tab. And then it shows you what to use. For level 10s, this says loss 200, but you can lose up to 1,200 in an MB method. If you want no losses, send 30,000 Reapers, 1 Sniper. If you don't have that, well, you just know what to aim for down the road. So anyways, since I pretty much know the basics of what I'm going to send here to each of these, RBCs, I'm just going to send out the attacks now. So I'm going to send more than necessary for each RBC because I'm trying to get the troops out of the city to show you how they're not using blood when they're on the march, so much. They use a little bit less when they're on the march, but when you park them to a RBC, or a wild, I should say, that's when they're consuming the least amount of blood. So I'm just going to hit, the basic wilds. I mean, I have 1.7 million blood to start with, so nobody can say this is biased numbers. We'll subtract that from the end result. And I'm just going to get rid of these troops in my city here and grab what blood I can. And the research on this is pretty low, so some of these higher RBCs where, over here it shows you the research you need, meet that, because obviously you can see I think I just lost like 200 bats or something like that. But for level 6s and down, I don't think you need any research. I just hit a couple, like the level 7 there, or whatever it was, and the level 8 beside me, so you can see. So I'm about 30 seconds into the attacks, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for these attacks to go and return. And it's not going to take very long at all. And, I mean, you can see how my blood upkeep is still about 1 million with all these marches out, even though there's only this many troops in my city. So I'm just going to wait here for 1 second, let these, attacks go and come back, and then I'm just going to show you how much blood you can get from basic farming. So I had 1.7 million, and then you can just see the blood rise as the troops return. So I'm over 3 million now. So I've pretty much doubled my blood count here in just a matter of seconds. And you can see the blood just continue to rise. See, we're almost up to 4 million now. And I think we're, just under 2 minutes or so into this attack on these blood camps. And you can see I have 4.3 million blood. I started out with 1.7, and I've only hit, I think, what, 7 RBCs so far? Yeah, 7 RBCs. I have 4.3 million blood, and I still have 3 marches still coming back with me. So I'm probably going to be, 5.5, 6 million by the time this is done. So, and I haven't even been at this 3 minutes, and I already have, over 4 million blood, heading towards 6 million, and I've hit a handful of RBCs. So, when people say, I can't get blood, I just can't do it, I'm honestly thinking you're lazy. Now, you may not have this many bats, so it may take you a little bit longer, but it's not going to be much longer. It might be a couple minutes longer just to get the same effect. You can see I'm at 5 million blood, and I have another march coming back, and I've only been at this a couple minutes. So that is how to effectively farm blood from, your city. Now, once the troops are back and you're done, collecting blood, just start sending your troops to your wilds. And I'm going to have to wait for this other attack to come back to show you the full effect here. If I had to speed up, I'd bring it back quicker just to show you. But once you have all your troops into your wild here, you only have 1,200 upkeep. So as long as the city is producing at least 1,200 blood an hour or more, which is very simple to do, a single resource lab would do that. If you want to go that far, I don't really care. The loss is so slow, I don't need it. But if for this case, anyways. So I'm gonna park the rest of the troops into the wilds. There's nothing left in the city. Let's give the game 1 second. Okay, there it is. The upkeep is 1,200. Now if we go to city, downtown, hit the production tab, you can see how much blood is being produced. I'm gaining 337 an hour until I eventually hit the cap of 4 million. So because I've hit the cap, it's not going to produce blood, but I'm not losing any blood either. So I have just under 6 million blood. I gained 5.1 million of this in just a couple minutes, and it's just sitting here in my city, untouched. If you're not a huge player with millions of troops, this is a very viable way to get blood. And all I did was hit a couple RBCs. And if you just look around your city, you can see that there's RBCs everywhere. There's no shortage of them. So there's really no reason to be, asking for blood if you have the bats. If you're using snipers, this is going to take far longer, which is why, again, I recommend using the bat method. If anybody has questions on what to do here, how to do it, whatever it is, feel free to ask anytime, but this is a very simple method, and I recommend everyone use it to collect blood.